Welcome, friends. It's time to get your cacao ready and settle in as we join for another episode of Megan Hopper Presents The Cacao Crowd, where we'll connect to heal, empower, and learn to love ourselves a little more each day. Hello. We will get into the rabbit hole that is essential oils, but first, Happy New Year, everyone. Although, to be fair, the spiritual New Year isn't until January 22nd. So if you're not happy with how this year is going so far, you still have a couple weeks before you have to acknowledge that it's a new year. Fun fact, sort of, not the fun fact, but we're now in season 2. Woo! We made it a full season. So thank you guys, because without you guys, there is no show. You're the whole reason I'm doing this. So thank you. Thank you for showing up, for me, for yourselves, for asking questions, for giving me ideas, all the fun things. In season 2, we are going to change things up a little bit. I do love my cacao. Absolutely love it. I have it every morning. And me and Mama Cacao have definitely built a bond. But I do want to make sure that you guys learn more than just one modality. I want to make sure that you have a bunch of different meditative techniques and really have your own toy box, which if you reference back to episode 2, you'll know what I'm talking about when I say toy box, to really dig into. So we are going to change it up this season, and we're going to start our episodes with a meditative moment instead of always cacao. We will definitely still have cacao, but I want to make sure that, you guys have some things to tap into while you are somewhere that you maybe can't have cacao with you or don't have it ready to prepare, or if you run out. But if you run out, you can always go on my website and buy more. So today we're going to do some very fundamental breath work. And breath work is a very big, all-encompassing term. So we're going to start out very beginner with it. It's a very user-directed breathing technique. So like I do with most of my things, you have control. We're going to do a 4, 5, 6 breath today. But once you get comfortable with it, if you want to push yourself, you can bring that up to the 4, 6, 8. You can really push yourself, go to 4, 8, 10, whatever, just feel into your body, feel into yourself, let your intuition guide you. But like I said, we're going to start with a 4, 5, 6, just to kind of break the ground of this breath work. If you've never done breath work before, there are different kinds of it. There is the counting. There is kind of bringing that breath into the different parts of your body. For this one, we are going to focus on diaphragmatic breathing. It's using your diaphragm. So taking your hands, putting your middle finger on either side of your belly button so that you can feel your diaphragm expanding on an inhale and contracting on an exhale. The more that you feel your belly getting bigger and getting smaller, it helps your brain to kind of say, oh, okay, cool. This is in my belly. This is in my diaphragm. And that is a way that we get out of that anxiety, out of that anxious breathing. Because if we think that we're potentially going to die, all of our breathing ends up in our chest. So when we're not concentrating, when we're not focusing, when we're not breathing down into our diaphragm, we sometimes lose that. So for this 4, 5, 6 breath, you want to make sure that you are breathing into your diaphragm. What we're going to do is inhale through the nose for 4. We're going to hold it at the top for a count of 5. And then we're going to exhale slowly again through the nose for a count of 6. We'll do that 3 times. And while you're doing it, really just concentrate on smooth breaths. So this isn't a race. This isn't, if you breathe it all in for 4, then you can hold it for 8 and you'll be doing better. No, it's being gentle. It's being that consistent, smooth breath. So I'll count them. And again, it's breathing in for 4, holding for 5, breathing out for 6. And thank you, Emily. Congrats on season 2. Thank you so much for always joining us. Love you. Actually, this episode is based on a question from you. So thanks. So putting your hands on either side of your belly button and breathing in through your diaphragm. You can hold your eyes open or closed, up to you. In for 4 through the nose. holding at the top for 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhaling through the nose for 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And just feel into your body. Feel where your joints are maybe a little bit looser, where you flow a little bit more instead of feeling so stuck, where maybe some tension has released. And just enjoy that. And like I said, you can work with that. You can try it in different ways. Do a 4-6-8. Traditionally, it is a 4-6-8 breath. The 4-5-6 is my beginner way. So if you feel like you can hold it a little bit longer, like you can exhale a little bit longer and stretch that out, definitely do that. It's a great one to do, is my favorite, in the line at the grocery store. Okay. And we will be keeping the fun fact. So getting to your fun fact for today. Have you noticed that a dog you have, a dog you know, loves squeaky toys? And have you ever wondered why they love squeaky toys so much? I mean, even my cat loves toys that make noise. It all goes back to the fact that dogs are descended from wolves, and they have these amazing inherent hunting skills. So those little squeaky noises mimic the noises made by tiny animals when they're being hunted. It's actually kind of dark if you think about it. We're using those toys to trigger the dogs to think that they're getting ready to kill a tiny animal who's terrified. What you're really doing is feeding their basic instincts, just like any animal. Even humans have basic instincts. So that is why your dogs love squeaky toys. If they don't, maybe they're further descended from wolves. Okay, now the meat and potatoes of the episode. I always use that analogy. I don't know why. I guess I blame it on my parents, who are probably listening. So you're welcome. But today we'll be talking about essential oils. Essential oils seem super simple. I mean, everybody's heard the term essential oils. When we had Caitlin in studio talking about travel, we were talking about how one of the main hotel chains was putting essential lavender oil on your pillows. So they've really permeated into kind of our everyday society. What hasn't come through is how to properly pick essential oils and how to use them in ways that are actually beneficial. A lot of people just kind of see an oil on the store in a craft store or at a fair they're at and don't really know what to look for to make sure that it is a pure essential oil, that is just that oil, that is not mixed with all kinds of other things. Because as soon as you start mixing that, it really cuts down on the efficacy of the oil and what you can do with it. There's certain applications for it that you don't want to do with anything but the ones that have all the things we're going to talk about. So the first thing that you want to do is make sure that the oils are organic. So, for example, I have 3 different frankincense oils, all right here. And you'll notice that 2 of them look very similar. One of them looks a little bit different, tries to look all fancy, sleek, black, all of that. So this one with the white top is just a very standard oil. It says pure on it. It's got a pretty picture. The one good thing is it is in a small, dark bottle, so you don't have to worry about the light coming in. So you definitely need to look for that. But that's pretty much the only thing on it. If you look at the other one that looks very similar to it, and I'll hold them next to each other so you can really see, they look almost identical. It's just where this one says premium, this one has a tag that says organic. So that's what this little, wrong way, this little dot here is saying USDA organic. The other thing that you're going to look for is that it says pure, which it does say pure down in the bottom, right under. Sorry, we have a lot of camera angles for this one so that you guys can see as much detail as possible. It does say 100% pure underneath. Now, saying pure is not the same as saying organic or saying where it is sourced from, but it does help. It is better. You do want to make sure it doesn't say perfume grade, because that generally means that it's probably mixed with things. The other thing, if we take it to the side, it has the other names for frankincense. So frankincense is also known as boswellia oil. And then right underneath that, if you pull this up on a computer, you'll be able to see it. But otherwise, just follow along. And then next time you're looking at a label, check out your own. Underneath that, it says where it's sourced from. That is extremely important. You want to make sure it's telling you where that oil is coming from. This one says country of origin is India. This one that has a very fancy label on it and looks like it should it should be really good, high quality. It's black and it's got a butterfly on it and it's really cool design. This one is not organic. So it's a decent oil, but it's not the right oil that you want to use for most applications. It does say 100% pure natural on it. So it's kind of like giving you those tricky words. And then, if you look on the back of it, it does say it's from India. It does say it's boswellia. It's missing some other key components. The one good thing it does say is there are no synthetic ingredients. So in this one, you're not getting things that are made in a lab. You're getting things that are natural, that are plant, but you're not getting a pure organic oil. So those are the key words. And then, yes, please, if you have oils at home and you're listening, you're watching, check them. Let me know what's going on with yours. A lot of them that you are picking up in places that you think are going to be good places to get them may not be. I did mention already, and I'll reiterate that the smaller bottles are definitely better. Oil oxidizes over time, which loses the potency of the oil itself. So if you're buying in smaller quantities, that's less of an issue. Once you open it, once you crack the bottle open, the oxygen starts to get into it, and that'll start to break down the oil itself. So if you are not someone who has a business that is using mass quantities of oil on a consistent basis, you definitely want to make sure that you're getting a smaller bottle and a dark bottle, because the light will also break down the oil itself. Emily, yes. Emily is mentioning that the oil that she has is not organic. So some great options that you can go to. There is an Aracacia blend brand that has some really good oils. And even some websites online do have really good, really reputable oils. There are some MLM structures out there that you might shy away from, but they do have good oils. So the components that we're talking about are the things that you want to make sure of more than the brand name being something that you know. Also to note, any oils that are in plastic bottles or if they have a rubber stopper, the oils can break down plastic. So the longer that they're around plastic, the worse that it's going to be in terms of the amount of plastic that's in the oil. So as you can see on the top of this bottle, it's got that like shiny, rubbery, sticky kind of thing going on. And I'm purposely not touching it because it is really sticky. I got oil on the top of this one day. It's a tea tree oil, and now it broke down the top of it. So I can't make that unsticky. So if you have a plastic bottle, that's what's happening inside of the bottle, and it's collecting in everything that you are then using and putting into your being. Not good. We don't want to ingest plastics. So real quick, some starter essential oils. First, you have your lavender oil. Lavender is really good for calming, helps anxiety, helps sleep. And that's why, again, you would see that potentially on a pillow. This is one of my kind of, if you say that duct tape and WD-40 are your rescue pack, that's the only two things you need in life. My duct tape and WD-40 of essential oils is lavender and tea tree, because lavender is going to chill you out. It's going to take care of everything, and tea tree is just going to kill everything. So the second one on that list is a tea tree oil. Tea tree, like I said, kills everything. It's super antiseptic. It's great to use as a cleaner. It's a really good scalp rinse if you're having issues with your hair, with either too oily or dandruff or something like that. And it's a really good option for acne. So if you're having acne issues, just dab a little bit of tea tree oil on it in the manner that we will speak about soon. You don't ever want to put oils directly on your skin. You will get burns. The next one is one I don't have with me, but it's eucalyptus oil. Eucalyptus is a plant very common, a tree very common to a lot of places, but definitely around here in Southern California. And it helps open up that upper respiratory area, that bronchial area, and it helps you breathe. So certainly this time of year, definitely something you want to have around. If you're walking around Southern California area or anywhere else that may have eucalyptus trees, and there's a piece that's hanging down that would potentially be falling anyway, feel free to cut it, wrap it around the back of your shower, and the oils will come out while you're showering. So it turns into a spa, but then you're not worried about whether it's a pure oil. You have the plant. Then the final one in the kind of starter essential oil pack is a citrus oil. It doesn't have to be orange. Sometimes I'll use a bergamot, a lemon, a grapefruit, but you definitely want a citrus because that's going to boost your mood. Sorry. Mixing words. It's going to boost your mood, and it's going to help energize everything. So, if you're having a rough morning, if you're going camping and you can't have coffee, grab your citrus oil. And again, don't ever smell them directly. You waft it toward you. So if you're not watching, if you're listening, I'm just taking my hand and kind of holding the jar about 6 inches from my face and pushing the air over the jar and towards my nose to get that inhale and get that scent, that waft. Feel free to take videos of wafting for yourselves and post those on Instagram so that I can watch all of your stories of wafting, because why not? That sounds fun. It's a good word. If you're going to blend oils, if you want to try to make your own scents at home, definitely keep balance in mind. So you want to use something from the earth, maybe a ginger or an oak moss or a black pepper with a fruit or a flower. And then, a couple of those will balance out with the spice too. So it's just overall balance. You don't want to use all flower. You don't want to go like ylang ylang and geranium and a citrus. That's going to be too many high notes. So make sure that you keep that in mind if you are trying to create your own fun blends. Which would be one of the way to use in essential oils. And then we have a couple others with us as well. So this is a diffuser. This is actually a really cheap diffuser, super easy to get. comes apart into two little pieces. The inside here, this kind of bubbles up the water. Someone just posted, "We're using the hashtag wafting with Megan." I love it. Yes, let's do that. Wafting with Megan. So when you post your videos of wafting on Instagram, please hashtag wafting with Megan. It's awesome. So your diffuser, you have an air outlet at somewhere within your diffuser that's going to bring that outside air into your machine. You're going to get the bubbles up into your water chamber where you're going to have water and a couple of drops of essential oil. When you're using this, you only want to use maybe 3-4 drops. It doesn't take a ton of oil. It will kind of ameliorate. No, that's not the right word. It'll diffuse itself into the water, and then the water will get pushed into the air. But if you have too much oil in it, then it's just going to sink. It's not going to go into the environment and kind of diffuse through that space. So again, just 3 to 4 drops, and then your water to the line. You put the top on, you plug it in the bottom, turn it on, and it goes. Most of them have some kind of light effect with them too, just so that they're pretty, they're fun, they glow. But that works kind of like an air freshener, just in a much nicer, more pure, more organic way than all of the chemicals and packaging that come with an air freshener. Cool. So the second one is going to be to drop it onto an absorbent surface, just to make kind of like an air freshener. So you can use a toilet paper roll, you can use a paper towel, or you can use something more natural, like a little sea sponge. And you can grab these sea sponges, from craft stores for sure, and online. There's a lot of places you can get them. Please don't try to take them out of the ocean or like go to a tide pool. They are living creatures. We don't want to destroy them. But if it was done in a sustainable way, using a natural sea sponge, very absorbent, very porous, as you can see. So a good carrier for oils. So what you would do, and let's just use some lavender because it's nighttime here. And you just take it, put a couple of drops, and now you have a homemade air freshener that you can put anywhere around your house. Maybe you want to make a nice little display in your bathroom and put a piece of sea sponge, and no one will know that this is actually an air freshener. Or if you wanted to do something like what I mentioned with the eucalyptus, you can put a string through it and hang it on the back of your shower. And that way it effervesces the oils into the air, much like a spa. So you end up getting a spa treatment too. So if you wanted to do it topically, and I mentioned this before, you don't put the oil directly onto your skin. Use a carrier oil. So your olive oils, your coconut oils, almond oil, any of those will work. Most seed and nut oils would work, although do be careful with seed and nut oils if they are not stored properly, if they are not created properly, then they're going to be rancid and you don't want that anywhere near you for many other reasons. So if you want to do a topical, put about 3/4 of a container fill a container about 3/4 of the way with an oil. And it can be a small container, it can be a large container, depending on what you're trying to do. And then just a couple of drops of oil, again, 3-ish drops. So like a really good muscle rub is to take a small jar, do about 3/4 of the way with melted coconut oil, and then 2 drops of tea tree and 1 of cinnamon, and just rub that on, and it's like icy hot. It's wonderful. Another way is an ionized water spray. So this particular one is ginger and bergamot, and then in the bottom, I've got a couple of crystals. I do make these, and you can buy them from my website. So, shameless self-plug. But this one is just a 11.5 pH water, because that does help to break up the oils and get them kind of more fully spread into the water in an even manner. And then you would just spray it. And I won't spray it in here because I don't want to make the whole room and everybody that comes in it after smell like ginger and bergamot, because we do have a lot of equipment in this room. Oh, nope, he's telling me to spray it. So now everything smells like ginger and bergamot, which is actually a really pleasant smell. And like I said before, citrus is going to help lift moods. So with the ginger, I have helped kill germs, and with the bergamot, I have lifted spirits. You're welcome to everyone that will be recording after me. And then, as always, if you want to put a couple of drops in a bath with some Epsom salts or into a foot soak, definitely a great idea. Again, if you use that 11.5 pH, you're going to get the detoxing. If you use the tea tree, you're going to have the muscles. The lavender is going to have that soothing effect. So a lot of those same qualities that you get from the aromatherapy side of it, you're also going to get with more of a soaking or application type use of the oils. The one super kind of caution that I do have to say, and I always make sure to say, is if you have pets at home, please be careful with oils. The higher phenols affect animals in a much different way than they affect humans. And a lot of them can cause breathing issues in pets. So be very careful about which oils you're using and in which applications. A topical application around pets is always better, and just making sure that they don't lick it, because then there's absolutely no chance that it's going to have a problem with them. If you do use a spray, again, be cautious of which scents, which oils that you're using. There are certain ones that are better for pets and certain ones that you don't want to go anywhere near. For example, there is no animal that does well with a pine scent. So your tea trees, your rosemaries, any of that, keep those oils away from those animals. Your lavenders are usually a little more forgiving. If you are using an oil around a pet, even if it's one that's supposed to be better around pet, just keep an eye on your pets. It is definitely harder to tell when a cat is having distress, because they like to try to hide things far more than dogs do. They've got a little bit of a Napoleon complex. No, I won't be taken down by this. So you just need to monitor them. If there's a problem with oils, usually you'll see them kind of slow down a little bit. They might want to sleep more, and they may just avoid the area where you have a diffuser, where you have a sponge set up, something like that. So just keep an eye on them, because that is really important. We do love our little fur babies, or non-fur babies if you have something like a bearded dragon. So yeah. If you guys have any questions about oils, about anything else, please reach out to me on the Facebook page, on Instagram. I do have a Telegram channel as well, where you can ask me literally any question and I will answer it. Although if you ask a snarky question, I'm going to give you a snarky answer. But if you ask me questions about anything to do with spirituality, healing, any of the modalities that we've talked about or that you want to hear about, I will absolutely give you a proper answer, and maybe even do a full episode. Because like I said, this episode was brought to you by Emily's question. So thank you guys for tuning in. There are events that are restarting if you are local to Southern California. And the first one that I'm doing this year is going to be a virtual offering as well, that's coming up on January 16th, and will involve cacao. It's actually a connecting with cacao course. So you're going to learn a little bit about cacao and have a ceremony and connect with Mama Cacao herself. So feel free to check that out if that's something that interests you. Make sure that, if you like the show, you're sharing, you're commenting, you're subscribing. Let's grow together, and definitely, I'm here for you guys. So if there's something that you want to learn, please let me know, and I will put together a show about it. Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your evening and your week, and I'll see you next week.